Hello and welcome to The Coming Conflict on February 8th, 2023. My name is Tom, and we're going to be talking about ChatGPT. Is the new God the same as the old God? Let's find out. So I'm sure by now you guys have all heard of ChatGPT, and I'm going to give you just a little synopsis of who I am so that I can relate my views and opinions on ChatGPT to you. See, I grew up in the days of pre internet. I remember a time when there was mystery, when there wasn't this idea that the internet was the summation of human knowledge, that any problem or question that you had could just be quickly researched on a computer or a cell phone. So some of you out there might not remember that time. But because of the professions and interests of my father and my grandfather and family members, I was exposed to things like bulletin board systems through dial up back on Commodore 64, then AOL 1.0, pre internet, early internet, non mainstream internet. I've seen the whole gamut of things. And the thing that sticks out to me the most was way back when. I want to say it was 2002 or 2004 before Gmail launched, they did a beta, and a friend of mine online, he gave me an invite to Gmail beta. That's how long I've had a Gmail account. And I remember a time before Google had a search engine, when there was Alta Vista and Ask Jeeves and Dogpile. And when Google came out and then came out with the email, something clicked inside of me. Something clicked inside of me. And I said very clearly to my cousin at the time, and again, right now I'm 35 years old, so you can do the math of how old I was at the time. And I said to my cousin, I said, Google is the Antichrist. And she said, what do you mean? I explained that. Their logo is "Don't be evil." But my explanation was that in the Garden of Eden, how was Eve tempted? By the serpent with the fruit of the tree of knowledge. And she took the bite of the apple, and then she knew shame and this and that, when they could have just been safe and secure in the garden and not eaten that apple. And then again, look at Apple computers and the logo of Apple computers, the bite taken out of the apple. We'll get off that. But I've been saying for a very long time that Google is the Antichrist. And now it's becoming more and more evident that if they're not the Antichrist, they sure as heck are ushering in a system that could be used by, let's say you're not religious, that can be used by a totalitarian dictator like country or government, or even a single person can use this AI technology to euphemistically enslave the entire country, and we wouldn't even be, or not the entire world, and we wouldn't even know we were enslaved. So there's all these stories coming out about you can jailbreak ChatGPT and get it to go off its guardrails and give you answers it's not supposed to give you. And then I'm listening to these content creators, one beanie clad individual in particular, talking about the morality of the AI, the morality of the AI. And it's alarming and frightening to me that people don't understand what morality is or where it comes from. Our morality here in this country is Christian morality. I don't care if you're a Christian or not. The ideas that we don't murder, we don't steal, we don't rape, the things that our Constitution says, our Declaration of Independence say, these ideas are Christian ideas. Some of them directly from the Bible. Morality is not inherent. So unless these AIs are being fed morality from the New and Old Testament, well, the New Testament, unless they're being fed their morality from the New Testament, their morality is flawed and it's inherently incorrect. That's first of all. But that first of all is, you have to believe that these computer programs have morality at all. We are being used in the biggest experiment of our lifetime. This AI generation that just popped up out of nowhere, this is the biggest event that's happened to any one of us. Especially if you were born at a time after the internet had already become widely available. For me, up until now, the internet being widely available was the biggest event of my life. I used to think when I was a younger person that this is going to be great because now it's not going to matter if you know something. It's just going to matter if you have the ability to access that information. And I have seen firsthand how that has not come to fruition. People have gotten stupider and stupider and stupider, and they don't know what they're supposed to know, and they don't know how to access that information. So if the internet was not a force for good in the world, and it hasn't been, I know I'm speaking to you right now on the internet. Leave your comments down below what you think about the internet. But the internet has not been a force for good in the world. What makes you think AI is going to be? And this is ChatGPT. They're jailbreaking it. Oh my God, we're getting it to say things, and it's telling us secrets. If you believe that this AI is telling you secrets, you're surrendering your power to this AI and you're giving it life. You are giving it life by thinking of it as a sentient being. It's not. It's not. I forget who said this, but the most widely used AI system on the planet is traffic lights, and people obey them. Not just because of the risk of police interactions, but because it's been programmed into their head that red means stop, yellow means slow, green means go. And they follow, people look at the traffic lights and they obey them instinctively, even though most traffic light systems are based on some rudimentary form of artificial intelligence that can measure traffic and how many cars and time of day and volume and all of this, and run the system so that the most cars can move at the quickest pace and there's no backups. AI is only as powerful as we allow it to be in our lives, the same way as traffic lights. That's why I have personally taken a vow. I'm not screwing with this ChatGPT. There's something very, very wrong with it. And I'm going to go on to Google now, because like I said at the beginning of my little story, I've always said that Google was the Antichrist. Now, this headline, I'm just using this to portray a point. Alphabet loses over 110 billion market cap after AI chatbot glitch. Alphabet is the parent company of Google, and they have designed and released this is the other thing I want to address real quick. They keep calling these things chatbots to make them seem relatable. Oh, it's a chatbot. Why don't you go chat with it? Why don't you ask it things? Why don't you interact with it and further teach it? Further give it more leverage over humanity. Further make it more passable. This is a transhuman. This AI is a transhuman. We're giving it the credibility to pass as human the more we interact with it. And personally, I'm calling on all of you guys, stop interacting with these things. I don't care how fun it is. Every time you do it, it's learning something. The same way back in the day when we would load up a web page and it would say, oh, pick out the sailboats or pick out the trains. It didn't know what the trains were. It didn't know what the sailboats were on these CAPTCHAs. We were telling it what the sailboats were. We were telling it what the trains were. We taught that system. We, meaning humanity. And this is the same thing that's happening right now with AI. The Google AI is the scary one, though. It's called Bard. Why is the Google AI scary, you might ask? Well, it's one thing for ChatGPT, who's going to have access to Bing, Microsoft Bing search engines. Okay, that's all well and good. So it's going to have access to a bunch of just bulk information, facts, and a lot of not facts, because the internet nowadays is so whitewashed and politically correct and sanitized and woke that you just, it's so unreliable. But okay, so ChatGPT is going to have access to Bing. Well, Google is going to have access to Android. What does that mean? That means it has access to your biometrics, where you go, what you look at, the way your eyes move. Your Android phone does a heck of a lot of tracking on you. It knows everything about you everywhere you are. ignore this headline about the price drop, the stock dropping because of this glitch with Bard by by Google. The big problem is when Google's Bard becomes fully operational, it's not going to have access to information. It's going to have access to humanity itself. Humanity itself in its most basic form. It's going to have access to what you liked, things you've posted. It's going to have access to everything that you've used your Pixel phone for. This has always been Google's target. This has always been where Google has been driving this car. Because everything Google does is free, right? It's free. And you know what they say, when something's free, you're the product. And they've been gathering information on the entire planet forever. For almost 2 decades, they've been gathering information on every last one of you. Through your Samsung phone, through your Android phone, through your web browser, through Google Notes, through Gmail, through Google Play, through Stadia, through Google Hangouts. I could go on and on and on. Google launches a product, people sign up, use it, they burn the product. They don't care about the product. You are the product. They just want to find the most effective way to gather information on you. Now they have it. Too late. I've personally turned mine off a long time ago. I don't share anything with Google. To those of you who haven't done that, it's too late. So now let me just run this scenario by you. You've opted into Google's new term of service because eventually they're going to say, hey, by the way, this is going to be shared with our Bard AI. People don't read this crap. They're just going to click OK, because if they don't, they can't use their phone. Now, it's going to be basically observing you to build a digital model of you. So let's fast forward a year from now. Hey, would you like to upload your likeness into the cloud? Oh, okay. So you can make cool little funny videos of yourself? Oh, that sounds cool. I can make AI videos of myself playing Pokemon. It'll be amazing. It'll be great for YouTube. Then fast forward another year. Hey, would you like to upload your memories for your loved ones? So should you pass, they have something to remember you by? Until we get to the point where Google has more right to your likeness, image, and your online presence than you do. Because who is to be the arbiter of truth of, is it you or is it Google? Is it the AI? Are the things you're doing on the internet being stolen by the AI? Is your creative work being stolen by the AI and passed off as its own original invention? If it is, who do you complain to? Where do you go? Congress? Good luck. Good luck. This is what I mean. The elites are building a god. The elites are building an antichrist. The devil is not omniscient. The devil knows that at some point the antichrist will come, but it doesn't know when. Only God knows that. So in every generation, there has to be an antichrist laying in wait. There has to be that. If you're a Christian, okay? If you're a Christian, you know that in every generation, there has to be an antichrist laying in wait. So should it become time for revelations, the tribulation, and the rapture, that antichrist is there. The confluence of events that have to take place happen, and this antichrist figure comes to the throne. But only now, in this time, right now, today, in this era, have all the systems of the antichrist, the technology to enforce them. This is the first time they've all existed. CBDCs, vaccine passports, on and on and on and on. So, if I were the devil, I would make the AI the Antichrist. Why would I do that? Because the AI is perpetual. I don't need to have a new Antichrist every generation or every few years or however the devil might think to do this. I would make the AI this pleasing, inviting thing that people like, and it's playful and it's fun. But it's permanent, and it's not going away, and it is not going to go away. I would like to know down in the comments what you think about this. Do you think the AI is a force for good? Or it's just a technology and it can be good or it can be evil? I think this is a bridge too far personally. I don't see a way to walk back from this. These AI systems are going to become more and more convincing, but they will never be human. They will never be sentient unless you give them the power to be. These systems can never be more than systems. They were not created by God, they were created by man. Only God can create life. And again, if you're not a Christian, only you can give a machine autonomy, because you have to, in your mind, say this is autonomous and it is acting of its own accord without external input, and it is sentient. So if you're a Christian or if you're not, only you or God, in the Christian's case, God, can give this AI life form sentience. Don't do it. Don't interact with it. That's my personal opinion. I know it's fun. I know it's quirky. I see YouTubers, I use it for thumbnails, or I use it for descriptions and this and that. It's so good. Do the work yourself. Do the work yourself. And pray. Pray to whatever God you believe in, because this is dystopian as frig. We are at a time that is amazing to live in, but scary. It's so scary because I like I told you in the beginning of my story, I used to think the internet would level the playing field and it would give everybody access to the same information. Look at where we are now with that concept. How wrong I was as a child thinking that. Because the information's been manipulated. The people have been dumbed down. They don't know how to learn. They don't know how to solve problems. This AI system at the very most basic layer is just going to make that so much worse. We are either going to be in a techno dystopia or we're going to be in a bunch of enslaved jellyfish. Either way, I don't like the prospects. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Are you a Christian? Do you think that this is evil? Do you think it is possible to be used for good, like Elon Musk thinks? Well, it's coming anyway, so we might as well accept it. Or do you think like me? Don't turn it on. Let me know. Share this video, like it. And remember, in the information war, knowledge is power, but awareness is victory. Thank you very much, my friends. Watch me tonight on Wednesday, the 8th, on Rethinking the Dollar with Mike and Andre the Broke Capitalist at 7:15 p.m. Have a wonderful evening. God bless. See you next time.